I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. I want to particularly thank Councilman Costello, who is here, and I want to also thank the many sponsors and partners who will make Supplier Diversity and Inclusion Week a great success this year. One of my administration's top priorities continues to be ensuring that all businesses have an equal opportunity to compete and succeed on a level playing field, with small and minority-owned businesses growing more than 3 times faster than population growth among minorities nationwide. Positioning our small, minority, and women-owned businesses to grow and succeed is more important than ever before. The success of these businesses is vital to Baltimore's economy. These entrepreneurs are building more vibrant commercial districts, they're hiring more residents from our neighborhoods, and they're putting more money back into our communities and the communities in which they live. They have a personal connection to our city and a desire to see the progress and growth. Our small and minority-owned businesses are the backbone of Baltimore's growing economy, and I remain committed to work every day to support these businesses and the jobs that they create for our residents. This is why I convened the Advisory Council on Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprises. Their report, A New Day, A Better Way, provided recommendations that will enhance the city's MBE program and our efforts for small business inclusion. I also formed a coalition on supplier diversity and inclusion to build upon the work of the council. The diversity and inclusion, the coalition advise the city on matters related to inclusion and diversity. They work to assist in implementing many of the advisory council's recommendations. The coalition is working collaboratively with all of our city agencies to implement action items that will have significant positive impacts for small businesses, minority and women-owned businesses, and the entire business community. These action items include collaborating to reauthorize legislation that allows minority and women-owned prime contractors to count their participation on contracts towards MBE and WBE goals, and continuing to work toward ensuring prompt payment for all city contracts. We understand the resources are limited for small companies, and timely payments are critical to keeping the lights on and to keeping our citizens employed. The pulpit that I have at City Hall enables me to push private companies in our city to work toward developing inclusion goals that lift everyone up. More significantly, for those projects that receive city assistance of some kind, I've worked to ensure that they include significant commitments towards MBE and WBE goals. We have seen the results of those efforts in such projects as the casino, and we're seeing it now in the development of Harbor Point. We've also seen Baltimore's MBEs continue to thrive. An exceptional example is Mr. Robert Wallace. His company, Biff Energy, has been named Fortune magazine's #1 fastest growing inner city business nationwide. Additionally, over the past several years, we've worked closely with our anchor institutions through our Baltimore City Anchor Plan to explore ways to use their buying power and the buying power of large institutions to support small, minority, and women-owned businesses. Another example of this is Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Health System, which recently announced their local Build, Hire, and Buy initiative with goals of significantly increasing its spending on local businesses. By creating economic opportunities and jobs and focusing on retaining and growing our business community, we will attract new businesses and encourage Baltimore to build upon its entrepreneurial spirit. Today, we are announcing 2 resolutions related to city procurement practices, which will be considered at next week's Board of Estimates meeting, and a new executive order. The first Board of Estimates resolution will create a historically underutilized business or HUB zone preference. HUB zone is a United States Small Business Administration program for small companies that operate and employ people in historically underutilized business zones. The program encourages economic development in these zones through establishment of preferences. More than 15,000 acres of land in Baltimore is considered HUB zone designated areas. This resolution will provide up to a 10% bid preference for HUB zone small businesses on designated projects, helping them to compete against larger businesses. The second Board of Estimate resolution involves implementing economic benefits evaluation factors to request for proposals that will require vendors to describe how their proposals will benefit the City of Baltimore's economy in addition to other technical evaluation factors. A sampling of benefits to the city's economy, from vendors' proposals could include purchases from small minority or city or women-owned businesses, subcontracting with a city's small minority or women-owned business, hiring city residents, participating in our Youth Works or Hire One Youth programs, and participating in our Mentor Protege program. I listen to our minority and women-owned business community. I listen to small businesses, and they say that, and residents say that they want to see a bigger impact for the dollars that we spend on city contract. And I think this executive order will get us there. I will also implement an executive order that encourages my cabinet agencies to increase spending with small businesses for goods and services under $5,000. This might seem like a small amount, but to a small or emerging business, this could keep the lights on. This could be the difference between them thriving as a business or shuttering their doors. And in keeping with our vision of creating a business-friendly Baltimore, we're now set to begin our third annual Supplier Diversity and Inclusion Week in Baltimore. Activities during this week will include a thank you tour of a few of our Baltimore's small and minority-owned businesses, a supplier and diversity inclusion procurement fair at the Baltimore Hilton, which will include workshops on how to do business with the city and how to obtain certification, as well as one-on-one matchmaking sessions with potential vendors and employers or contractors, and the first annual Mayor's Minority Women-Owned Business Awards in partnership with Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council. Thank you very much, Sharon Pender. All of these initiatives and activities are being driven by my staff at the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Development. I want to thank my entire team, Christine. Thank you, everyone that's here, including my Deputy Mayor, Colin Tarbert. I just want to thank all of you for working so hard. They continue to push for progress and improving opportunities for Baltimore's small and minority-owned businesses every day. And I believe that taking together all of these announcements represent a significant step forward towards positioning our small, minority, and women-owned businesses to grow and succeed. Again, I want to thank you all very much. I'm excited about this week, and I am going to turn it over to Ms. Bivens. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam. And again, I'll say good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And thank you, Madam Mayor, and everyone for taking time out of your very busy schedules to attend this important announcement. My name is Christine Bivens, Director of the Mayor's Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Development, and my team is here around. And without the whole team, it really is difficult to get things done. So having a great team is very important. And I'm actually excited to be on the team of Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, because her dynamic team continues to and she continues to focus on meaningful inclusion of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in city purchasing. And in keeping with the mayor's thoughts that she just mentioned, I think we all agree that small, minority, and women-owned businesses are the heart and soul of our communities. When these businesses thrive, we can see the effects in the community. We can feel the effects, the community feels the effects, and beyond. And for Minority Enterprise Development Week this year, it's about recognizing, and it's always actually about recognizing and commending our small, minority, and women-owned businesses for their collective contribution to the city and the region. This week also is about providing opportunities for businesses to make new connections and build relationships that can translate or lead to contracts and future growth of those businesses. We know that relationships are key, which I kind of touched on, and it's by leveraging and building upon those relationships that we can gain success really in any area of life, but particularly in business. That's why also we're excited this year to have partnership, that we're leveraging relationship with our Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council, the Coalition on Supplier Diversity and Inclusion, our Minority Business Development Agency, and MBDA Business Center Baltimore, all to bring about resources and assistance to our small minority and women-owned businesses here in the city. And I'll also like to thank our partners and sponsors, as the mayor already has. And it's these types of joint efforts that will help us to better serve, provide meaningful resources to our small minority and women-owned businesses so that they'll thrive. Now, the mayor also mentioned something along those lines of our businesses, and that's that Fortune magazine's #1 fastest growing inner city business is Baltimore's own Bith Energy. The CEO of Bith Energy, Mr. Robert L. Wallace, he's also the chairman of our Mayor's Coalition on Minority and Women-Owned Business, Supplier Diversity and Inclusion, excuse me. And Mr. Wallace, I'll just give kind of a brief overview. Mr. Wallace is a dynamic leader who believes in the city of Baltimore and tirelessly supports the mayors of the city's efforts to make Baltimore the greatest city in America and a place for small minority and women-owned businesses to thrive. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Wallace so that he can share his thoughts.
You know, when I relocated my business from Columbia, Maryland, about 10, 11 years ago, people would ask me, well, Bob, why are you moving your business from Columbia, Howard County, to downtown Baltimore, in the city? And I said, because many reasons, but one, because of opportunity. I believe that there's economic opportunity in Baltimore and in most places around the country that are in urban centers. And so the key becomes, how do we take the opportunity that exists in most urban centers, and how do we use technology and business to make it work, to create jobs and to create wealth? And I felt that the mayor was creating an environment where businesses like mine could not only survive, but thrive. And so we made a commitment many years ago to invest our headquarters, to invest in Baltimore, to move our headquarters to downtown Baltimore, and I'm glad that we did. And we've been recognized as the fastest growing inner city business in America for 2015. And I think part of the reason is because of the environment that the mayor and her staff have helped to create. So we're looking forward to many more years of growth in Baltimore City, and we invite other businesses to consider moving their headquarters to downtown Baltimore and being a part of this business community. So Madam Mayor, I wanted to thank you personally for all that you do, and Christine for all that you do, and Scott and Tony, all that you do to help make it possible for folks like us to not only survive, but to thrive. And thank you so much.
I'd also like to have a few words from our MBDA Business Center.
Good morning.
Morning.
First to the mayor and to our client, Dr. Wallace, and to our sponsor, Ms. Christine. We want to thank you from the Baltimore Business Center of MBDA. For those who are not familiar, the Minority Business Development Agency is an agency of the Department of Commerce. It was founded some 45 years ago. Baltimore City, under the leadership then of Sharon Pender, was fortunate to receive a grant from the Department of Commerce to open the center. We're excited about the work that we do. Our staff is here, both Megan and Tony. We appreciate all the work that you do. It is through our office that we focus on global business development, access to capital, access to contracts, access to markets, and strategic consulting. We're fortunate to have clients like Bith Energy, and we're fortunate to have a number of clients here in the Baltimore metropolitan area, which collectively have done over $100 million to support our city and our country. Yes. So this week, we're excited. On Friday, we will be hosting a luncheon for our clients to talk about access to capital and to share some of the highlights of a few of those clients. We thank you, Madam Mayor, for allowing us to be part of the city and for doing what we do every day. After 29 years in corporate America and years practicing law, this has been probably the most enjoyable period of my life working primarily with minority businesses. So we thank you.
Before I close, I just want to acknowledge the fact that we are officially designating October 26th through the 30th as Minority Enterprise and Development Week, promoting supplier diversity and inclusion in Baltimore. I want to thank you all again for all of your hard work and for being here for this announcement. And Councilman, again, thank you for your support. We know that in your district you are home to many of our minority and women-owned businesses and small businesses. So I know that this is something that's very close to your heart as well. So again, thank you, Aaron, and everyone. We're going to have a great week. Thank you very much.